Welcome to Cinema Express. Um, so hi, and first I saw the film, and I want to start off by asking, why did you have to? Was it a plan that using Indian mythology for a sci-fi would make it more closer to Indian audience?
No, it wasn't planned. It just came spontaneously, genuinely. It wasn't planned. It all came from the idea that basically, see, since childhood, I've had a lot of attraction towards Indian folklores and Indian mythologies. But I always felt that, I always feel every generation in their era tells folklores for their future generation, and I always wonder
Correct.
what are the urban folklores we are telling in our era. So I thought, why not come up with something like that. This was something that when I was building that world, I wanted to add more details, and it just started adding and adding, and I don't know, it just spontaneously happened, and I just got hooked to it.
Okay.
I got addicted to it in a way, so I just added that. Yeah.
But as actors who have seen sci-fi films and been an audience to those, you have an image in your head like how a sci-fi film would be, and then when you're doing a film like Cargo, which is not exactly the sci-fi film that you might have seen before. So how was it to adapt an acting scale?
आई थिंक जो इमोशंस जो होते हैं वो सेम होते हैं, तो चाहे वो पृथ्वी पे हो या आउटर स्पेस में हो या फिर किसी कोने ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में हो, तो अगर आप नस को अगर पकड़ लो तो आई थिंक यू विल सक्सीड. एंड अगर वो राइटिंग में आपको अगर वो सपोर्ट मिल जाता है, इफ द मटेरियल इज स्ट्रांग इनफ, एंड आरती इज अ पर्सन जो कि टोटली डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड से आती हैं, तो उनका रिसर्च करने का, पढ़ाई करने का फायदा विक्रांत और मुझे बहुत ज्यादा हुआ है. क्योंकि as actors, in fact, just when you were talking to Arati right now, I realized that as actors we work a lot with different writers, different directors, and it's thanks to directors like her जो अपना होमवर्क इतना बढ़िया करते हैं कि उसका फायदा हम जैसे एक्टर्स को भी होता है. बिकॉज एज एक्टर्स, as much as we would like to, but you can't possibly spend hours at a stretch and days or months at a stretch. वो we would like to do it, वो but let's be practical, वो नहीं होता है.
Yeah,
so what we really feed off from is what the writer and director they want, and in Cargo she is the writer and director, so there is not only her energy, a lot of her knowledge and what she's learned and developed her concepts, so वो सब हमें काफी हमने benefits reap किए हैं उस चीज के.
Yeah, I mean, as audiences, I'm sure we've seen our share of sci-fi. So India में nobody's been able to explore it, as well as Arti's done so far. और हम लोग भी जब छोटे थे तो the only references to sci-fi नहीं कह सकते हैं, but an abstract land which is only heard of, unheard of rather. वो हमें अमर चित्र कथा में मिलता था या फिर हमें हमारी खुद की इंडियन mythology में मिलता था. And as actors, when as Shweta said, I will just take it from there on, that when your director is so well versed with what he or she wants, when they've spent so much time and there's a lot of clarity in their heads, a lot of your job is easier. So all you have to do is you have to go on set and act. As actors, I think we are one of the last few people to join the bandwagon, because it's always the writers and the creators who've spent months and years, as Shweta said. So that half your problem is sorted when your director is first with what is a sense of excitement कि हिंदुस्तान में ऐसा हुआ नहीं है पहले, and you really want to do something which is different. But the beauty in Cargo is that it's somewhere down the line set around sci-fi as a premise, because the entire film is based in a spaceship, and बाकी one liner तो सबको पता ही है. But it's not very tech heavy sci-fi like stuff that we've seen in Hollywood. It's very fableish, it's very mythological. I really don't think firstly you can sort of bracket it into a genre. It's so many things together at once. And so just if I had to end it, I think it's not very heavy duty sci-fi, but it's a lot of our own local Indian mythology, our fables that we've heard as kids, and our idea of life and life after death. And it's a wonderful amalgamation, and I think that's one of the reasons why the trailer's drawn such lovely responses so far.
I just want to add that first of all, my actors are incredibly generous. I have to say that
Mutual admiration.
for any thing to be believable, it is very important. The carriers of the story, the actors, they have to be very intelligent. They have to have that own nuanced understanding of things, of not just the gadgetry that I'm showing, but also the philosophies I'm trying to tell. So they are not just intelligent, but they are also very high. They have very high EQ, both of them. Like they are very layered people, both of them. Like even if Shweta is sometimes not sure, but she's also super layered. Vikrant, we know he's layered. Like there's no doubt. so, but you so, and that really helps because their conviction drives everything. Like when they are on the set, believing it, doing it with so much sincerity, completely surrendering to that world where 50% of which is a green screen, and doing it with so much, like like what Shweta once said, that she's imagining an asteroid passing through a window. Like she's doing that, sitting there, like just to when they work with that much sincerity, or like everything becomes believable. And regardless of how the treatment of sci-fi is, if it feels real, it works. That's all. Like regardless of the treatment.
And I'll just add in one thing. Shweta said something really beautiful, that irrespective of what language you speak in, certain basic emotions remain universal. Be it love, hope, despair, anguish. So ये universal चीजें होती हैं. So irrespective of the language you speak in, the other person on the other side will understand. And hope, and these are things which bind us all humans together, irrespective of where we come from, culturally, linguistically, or anything. And I think Arati had, the spine of the script, if I can say, if that makes any sense, was so intact that all you had to do was, just work around and add some flesh. And yeah. और हमारा म्यूचुअल एडमिरेशन क्लब है, हम लोग एक दूसरे की तारीफ करते रहते हैं. दूसरा सवाल पूछो जल्दी.
Arti, I saw the characters as like the one person who is the the old guard, and then there's someone who's coming up with the new fresher outlook of the same thing. So is it also a way of saying that so this is, I'm showing what is sci-fi we traditionally know, and I'm going to do something in the future which is much more complex. So was it a way of just keeping your audience ready for what you're doing next?
No, not really. Like though I don't plan only. So what I wanted to show was the concept of renewal. Like the whole idea of life, or the cycle of life, is like new people, when you wish, like new people take over old people, and it's beautiful in a way. So that's what we wanted to show in a very subtle way, that this is a cycle. Like in fact, we show exactly the same. I don't know how much. I don't want to do spoilers at this point. So but there are shots that are exactly same of Vikrant's response to Shweta, and Shweta response to another character. So basically, you don't realize that we are part of a cycle, like and we all feel that we are the first time, but no, we are part of a chain and a continuous, moving cycle. Yeah.
So both Vikrant and Shweta have been part of OTT content before. To an extent, you can also say that you were ahead of the curve when it comes to actors doing roles on digital platforms. But now when you see, the so-called mainstream actors also jumping and on the bandwagon and doing things, so what is the reaction? Is it like, I've seen this all before, or this time I'm the insider, or basically just saying, आप यहाँ पे आके?
I think मैदान है, playing field है, जितना ज़्यादा competition हो उतना अच्छा है. Why not? Why shouldn't everybody get a chance? As long as we are doing the kind of projects we want to do and the kind of money that we would be happy with, I think it's all good. And I think there are characters, stories, projects for everybody. हम जिस देश में रहते हैं वहाँ पे कहानियाँ भरी पड़ी हैं. And now more than ever, people are so content hungry कि आप उनको हर Friday, हर Wednesday कुछ ना कुछ दोगे, they will lap it up. I have friends who subscribe to all channels possible and watch everything that is given to them. So I think the audience is ready for good content. हमारा as artist responsibility है कि हम जो काम कर रहे हैं हमारे लिए, and I'm sure that I'm speaking for the three of us, quality is more important than quantity. And अपनी खुशी जो एक artist को होती है, which I think the kind of work that we do, वो दिखता ही है. And बाकी तो यार, why not? Why let's have a Gunjan Saxena, let's have जो भी मतलब जो फिल्में हैं, प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, होने चाहिए. सबको काम मिलना चाहिए, सबको पैसे कमाने चाहिए, सबको प्यार बांटना चाहिए.
There's enough space under the sky. Yeah, there's enough space under the sky for everyone to shine their bit, no?
When you're doing such interesting content and which is now coming on OTT and not in the theatrical release, do you see that like would my project have done better in the theaters, or is it okay for coming on OTT, and will the response now be better considering people are looking at fresh content every single day?
So I think first of all, we are obviously collectively as a civilized, we are going through a pandemic. So at this point, it is important that everybody is safe. And at this point, I think it's a responsible thing to to not try to release in a theater, but release on an OTT. But particularly speaking about Netflix, I think it's like the best platform. The content of Netflix have good. I mean, they are good quality content, and they have solid production values in general, and they're kind of enjoyed by so many people. There are fan base around, and I love the sci-fi shows on Netflix, like right from Dark to everything, to Stranger Things. So it's amazing. It feels a matter of great pride for us that we are joining that pool of sci-fi, where all that kind of sci-fi content is sitting. And also our film specifically, it's though it is very Indian in general, it has also enjoyed a good festival run outside India, and in fact a lot of people have really loved it. So I think
More than 25 festivals.
yeah. So
Yes.
we Shweta and Vikrant have won Best Actor awards in Miami Sci-Fi. Like, overall, people are really. In fact, I have a lot of reviews for them lined up from London and Miami, and I have to ask them for dates for that. So there are people who are very excited to see their film outside India. And personally, for me, I also have a lot, because I was a techie before I became a filmmaker. I have a lot of films outside India. So I feel happy that a friend of mine who's in Germany says, like, I can't wait. I put a timer for your film. So I think it feels great that at a time you're reaching every corner of this world. So I think this is the best thing that could happen to a film like Cargo. We are very happy.
Seems like a match made in heaven, as Aarti said, the film that we've made, the audiences we want to reach out to. I think Netflix was the only platform that, it seems God sent also in a lot of ways.
Other thing is, once the trailer dropped, there have been comparisons with other content also. The people are talking about how it reminds them of a good place, and things like that. And those comparisons are coming even before the content is out there. So how do you look at that kind of a conversation happening even before the content is seen on social media?
No, I'm very happy, because all kind of conversation means people are actually engaging with the material, and they're trying to find similarities of it with other kind of. There are a lot of Good Place is one of them. There are a lot of stories around. There's somebody in one festival has said that it reminded them of 16. So there are a lot of films that talk about what happens after death, and so actually, and there are a lot of books, like my favorite author Borges, who talks about that after that you get into a labyrinthine library, and that you cannot get out. So, and I love that, because we all as human beings, we are, death is the what happens after death. We all fail to accept that after that nothing happens, it becomes zero. So we all come up with like hundreds of stories because we don't know the truth, right?
Yes.
So many people have their own versions of it.
Yeah, either of that, right? So basically, I mean, the way to and it's nice to be compared with Good Place, because Good Place is a wonderful. It's so quirky, very unique, and if we could make a Good Place in India, I'll be very happy. But yeah, so, yeah, and there are a lot of this, so I feel very happy. And in general, I'm there are people comparing it with Passengers and a lot of other films which I saw but I'm very happy in that way. Please compare with the best of the lot, yeah.
The underlying theme is about how you always have something in you that doesn't go away with death. Must be some emotion you have, some memory you have. So while working on the film, while writing it, did you think of what if there's one memory I could hold on to, one thing I could hold on to? Did you contemplate those things, and if yes, what would that be?
So we had a very extensive night shoot, because we were shooting at our spaceship was in open air. So I remember it was very tiring for me personally, also because of I have a small child, so I couldn't even. So I remember one day we were all sitting, three of us were hugging, and we took some pictures which I posted. And when you asked one memory, just that warmth I felt from my actors was the memory that came to my mind, like, of the making of Cargo, of just like in that cold film city with, like, crazy mosquitoes, but like I had my, actors, like, there, so enthusiastic and so committed, like, it's a beautiful memory. Yeah, I would carry it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
One memory that I would want to hold on from life. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's something that I would want to hold on to. I would rather, कोशिश फिलहाल लाइफ के उस स्टेज पे हूँ कि जहाँ पे थोड़ा सा माइंडफुल होने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, and rather than wanting to hold on to something, I'm trying to be in the moment and cherish it there and then. So I think I'm on a completely different tangent in life right now. And holding on to something, if at all I have to, I think it would be something related to my parents. Anything that is remotely associated with them is something that I would want to keep with me for as long as I can.
I think वो line जो है, unless I have misunderstood, which is the clarification I want right now, it is definitely what you're saying, that one memory you would like to take with you. But I think that line means that जब आप चले जाते हो, आपका कुछ ना कुछ छूट जाता है.
छूट जा हाँ अच्छा वो
हाँ, so मतलब तो वो भी है, मतलब that is what I took from that line, is that, and especially as artists, even when artists go, and मेरे लिए obviously soft corner है artist के लिए, because I'm one of them. तो मुझे लगता है कि आप अगर अच्छा काम करते हो या फिर आप वो buttons push करते हो जो लोगों को feel कराते हैं, so if you can manage to make people cry or smile, then I feel very grateful and blessed that even after I go, there will be my work which people will watch, and I will still make people feel even when I'm not there physically.
I have to thank you for this lovely, lovely conversation. And
thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
yeah,
Avinash.
likewise.
I did see the film and I loved it, and I hope people who watch it have very, very strong and similar reactions to it.
Thank you. Please recommend this. Yeah, I'm going to follow you on Twitter and I'm going to check if you recommended or not.
The moment the embargo lifts, you will see me just talking about Cargo for this entire weekend.
Thank you so much.
Lovely, lovely.
We
You're my new friend.
I will meet champions like you. Please, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thanks.